Willow-ing reluctantly looked at her daughter, clearly not eating snacks. Then, when Victor Wong entered the kitchen, Willow-ing followed him. "Let me help you wash the vegetables." She then took the vegetables, washed them clean, and cut some beef into even pieces. Victor Wong asked in surprise, "Have you cooked before?" Willow-ing replied confidently, "No, but I'll get used to it eventually." "Do I really need to learn something as simple as this?" Victor Wong let out a bitter laugh. He had spent a long time learning, proving once again that some people are just naturally gifted. After a while, Willow-ing made another dish. "Victor Wong, come try my cooking." Victor Wong thought it looked good, so he picked up a piece to taste, and it wasn't bad at all. Then, he noticed a smile seemed to appear at the corner of Willow-ing's mouth. "The noodles are almost ready. You should go wait outside. There's oil in the kitchen." Hearing this, Willow-ing left the kitchen, and Nina immediately shrank her little head back, scampering outside. Willow-ing didn't expose her. The two of them sat on the sofa, sharing the same cold expression on their faces. Soon after, Victor Wong brought a bowl of steaming beef noodles to the table. "Nina, come try your uncle's cooking." Nina's eyes lit up, and she immediately stood up, grabbing chopsticks to dig in. Victor Wong kindly blew on the noodles for Nina and fed her a piece of meat. Nina chewed a couple of times and swallowed, giving a thumbs up to Victor Wong. After that, Victor Wong continued to feed Nina. Willow-ing also tried a bite of the noodles and looked up to ask, "Can't Nina eat by herself?" This little girl has been able to eat out by herself since she was 2. Nina shook her head, hugging Victor Wong's arm. Willow-ing continued, "Victor Wong, give her a small fork. She knows how to use a fork to eat." Hearing this, Victor Wong affectionately smiled and said, "Nina is still little. It's fine for me to feed her." Nina's beautiful face was full of smiles as she leaned her head against Victor Wong's arm, deliberately looking at Willow-ing. Willow-ing felt angry. This little girl was definitely doing it on purpose. She then said, "Victor Wong, let me feed Nina. You eat first, or we'll get cold." Victor Wong turned around and noticed that Willow-ing's bowl was completely empty. Even the soup had been finished. How many meals had she skipped? Willow-ing took the bowl from Victor Wong's hands. "Nina, let me feed you." But Nina shook her head vigorously, her small hands clutching Victor Wong's clothes. Willow-ing helplessly tried to feed Nina, but Nina turned her head away, refusing to eat even a single bite. Victor Wong observed this scene, and it seemed that the relationship between these two was not very good. "Nina, why aren't you eating? You have to be a good girl and listen to your mother." After a few coaxing words from Victor Wong, Nina obediently started to eat. Willow-ing almost thought this wasn't her daughter. After that, Victor Wong quickly finished his noodles and went to clean the dishes. Willow-ing was quicker than him, picking up a bowl. "Victor Wong, go play with Nina. I'll wash the dishes." Hearing this, Victor Wong looked at her strangely. "Wash the dishes? Do you know how to wash?" Willow-ing raised an eyebrow. "You underestimate others too much. If I can't handle something so simple, how could I manage a big company?" Then, Victor Wong watched Willow-ing walk into the kitchen in her high heels and elegant dress. Nina immediately climbed onto Victor Wong. "Sweetie, did you eat too much today?" Nina nodded and gave a thumbs up to Victor Wong. Victor Wong smiled and hugged Nina. "If you like the food I cook, you can come over often." Just as he finished speaking, a sudden crash came from the kitchen. Victor Wong hurriedly rushed in with Nina in his arms, finding the floor covered in shards. He looked at Willow-ing, who was frozen in place. It was rare to see her like this, and suddenly he found it a bit endearing. "I didn't secure it properly, and it fell. I immediately called to have someone bring a new bowl. It's fine, if it breaks, it breaks. Let me carry Nina outside first." Victor Wong placed Nina on the sofa and took a broom into the kitchen with Willow-ing to clean up the shards on the floor. After tidying up, it was already past 9 p.m. When Willow-ing led Nina outside, a sudden strong wind blew, and large raindrops began to fall. Victor Wong hesitated and said, "It's raining now, and the wind is too strong. Why don't you and Nina stay here for the night and go back tomorrow?" After saying this, he felt a bit abrupt, but Willow-ing didn't hesitate at all. "Okay, I also think the wind is too strong. If Nina catches a cold, that wouldn't be good." Nina nodded vigorously, indicating that her mother was right. The two of them successfully stayed over, both with a glimmer of joy in their eyes. After that, Victor Wong went into the bedroom to start cleaning up. A little while later, Willow-ing also entered Victor Wong's room. "What are you doing?" Hearing this, Victor Wong looked up at her. "Willow, you and Nina can sleep in the inner bedroom, and I'll sleep on the sofa outside. My bedroom is quite clean, so please don't mind it." Willow-ing shook her head and said, "You can let us stay, and we are very grateful." "Nina, quickly thank Uncle." Nina was put down from Willow-ing's arms and ran over to Victor Wong. Victor Wong squatted down, picked Nina up, and she directly puckered her lips to give him a kiss. That night, while Victor Wong was sound asleep on the sofa, a smile still on his face, he thought how wonderful it would be if Nina were his daughter. Perhaps it was true that what one thinks about during the day comes out in dreams at night. He really dreamed of Nina hugging his leg and sweetly calling him Dad. and he couldn't help but laugh out loud. In the haze, the door to the room quietly opened, and Willow Ing silently stepped out. She walked over to Victor Wong, her dark pupils staring at him unblinkingly, seemingly flashing with a hint of danger. After a moment, Willow Ing leaned down and directly kissed Victor Wong on the lips. Victor Wong felt as if he were being stared at by a venomous snake. He desperately tried to escape, but the snake had already coiled around him. Suddenly, Victor Wong woke up. It was already morning outside. As he sat up, a pair of long, slender, fair legs caught his eye. "Awake? Come try my cooking." It was Willow Ing's voice. Victor Wong looked up and saw that Willow Ing had prepared breakfast. After Victor Wong washed his face and brushed his teeth, he saw Nina sleepily coming over. He picked her up and helped her wash her face and brush her teeth, then let her sit at the dining table. Victor Wong took a bite of steak, pinched his own cheek hard, always feeling a bit unreal, especially since it was the young lady herself who made breakfast for him. After a while, Willow Ing and Nina finished eating. Willow Ing said apologetically, "Victor Wong, I have to go to the company first. I'm sorry to trouble you to take care of Nina for a day. I'll come pick her up tonight." Hearing this, Victor Wong took Nina. "If you're too busy, I can take Nina home tonight." After that, Willow Ing got in her car and left the neighborhood. Nina hugged Victor Wong's neck and waved goodbye to her mother, her face showing no reluctance at all. After Victor Wong combed Nina's hair and dressed her nicely, he also took her to the company. A little while later, Victor Wong sat on the sofa, leisurely sipping tea, while Chu Dike quietly said, "Victor Wong, have you thought carefully about yesterday's matter? I think this is a good opportunity for you." Victor Wong replied leisurely, "Maybe, but I have one condition. Let Kurt West play the supporting male role for me. Otherwise, I won't take this film." Hearing this, Chu Dike laughed and said, "Kurt West will definitely not agree. Why don't you find someone else?" Suddenly, Victor Wong turned his head. "What about Manhwa?" Chu Dike's expression immediately darkened, and he stood up, pointing at Victor Wong, angrily saying, "Manhwa is not only the most famous star right now, but he's also just one step away from winning an Oscar. You should check your own worth. Don't be greedy." Hearing this, Victor Wong calmly set his teacup down. "If that's the case, forget it, Nina. Let's go home." Nina, who was playing with toys on the table, immediately ran over to Victor Wong and climbed onto him. Chu Dike looked at the two faces, one big and one small, that were strikingly similar, and asked, "Victor Wong, is this your daughter?" Victor Wong explained, "She's my friend's daughter." Only then did Chu Dike breathe a sigh of relief. Having a daughter can have a huge impact on an artist. "Victor Wong, it's impossible for Vong Hoi to take a supporting role for you, while Kurt West might consider it a bit. I'll go ask the vice president for advice." Chu Dike softened his tone. After all, the conditions set by the investors this time were indeed too generous for their company to refuse. He couldn't help but wonder which powerful figure Victor Wong had managed to cozy up to. Then, Victor Wong carried Nina out of the office, humming a tune as he walked through the company. Nina, seeing so many people, was frightened and hid in Victor Wong's arms. Victor Wong explained again. Moreover, he did want to have one, but who would give him a child? Meanwhile, in the office, Kai Pham slammed the table and cursed. "To ask me to take a supporting role for Victor Wong? That's impossible for the rest of my life. He's just a nobody." Chu Dike advised, "Kai Pham, calm down a bit. The conditions from the investors this time are something we simply can't refuse." Hearing this, Kai Pham's face darkened as he asked, "Do you know about this?" "Just called," and he said yes. Kai Pham gritted his teeth. "Let me talk to him myself. I absolutely will not take a supporting role for Victor Wong. Does he even deserve?" Kai Pham stood up and kicked the door open. On the other side, Victor Wong was taking Nina to the supermarket, buying her a beautiful butterfly hairpin to put in her hair, and then getting her a large lollipop, which Nina happily hugged. Passers-by were buzzing. That father and daughter are so handsome. They look so alike. The mother must be so happy to have such a handsome husband and such a lovely daughter. Truly a winner in life. So envious. Later that evening, Victor Wong brought Nina back to the villa. The butler, seeing Victor Wong, smiled and welcomed him. "Young Master Victor, you're back. Come in quickly. The eldest and second young ladies are having dinner." "I won't go in. I don't want to trouble you. Please take Nina inside. I have some matters to attend to." Hearing this, Nina, holding the large lollipop, turned her head back to look at Victor Wong one last time, lingeringly. Victor Wong waved to Nina. "Nina, go inside. I'll come to visit you in 2 days." When Nina entered, Snowy Lee almost didn't recognize her. "Is this the little demon of yours?" Willow Ing then asked. "Nina is back. Where's your Uncle Victor?" The butler replied. "Miss, young Master Victor has left, saying he has some matters to handle." Willow Ing's face clearly showed disappointment. "Oh, Nina, come here with Mommy. Where did your uncle take you to play today?" Nina showed her mother everything Victor Wong had bought. her little face beaming with joy. Seeing this scene, Snowy Lee's eyes widened. Sister, how has the little demon changed? She's actually smiling. This little demon usually never smiles. At that moment, the sound of a car horn rang out outside. Miss, the master and madam have arrived. Hearing this, Snowy Lee put down her chopsticks and rushed outside. Mom and Dad, did you come to visit me? I told you not to come. The two elders of the Liu family walked past Snowy Lee with expressionless faces, not even glancing at her. Snowy Lee felt as if her heart had been hit 1,000 times. Am I still their biological daughter? She stomped in anger. The two elders entered the living room and, upon seeing Nina, smiled kindly. Liu Madam curiously asked, Nina, who put this hair bow on you? Snowy Lee smiled slyly. Is there even need to ask about this? Of course, it was your Uncle Wong who bought it for her. The two elders exchanged glances, seemingly realizing something significant. Could it be that their daughter already had a man by her side? It didn't matter what his status was. What mattered was that he treated their daughter well. And as long as he did that for Nina, it was fine. Snowy Lee continued. Nina likes Uncle Victor the most. Last night, she even went to his house for dinner. And today, he bought her so many things. She's so happy. Nina pouted her lips, continuing to hug the large lollipop box in her arms. Mrs. Lily was so shocked that her mouth fell open, repeatedly exclaiming, Good. Lily, who's that Victor Moon guy? What's his character like? Where does he live? How old is he this year? Is he handsome? Mr. Lily nodded continuously. That's right, this girl is so cold. Has she ever looked for a boyfriend? Be careful not to scare him away. Lily Nguyen twitched her lips. Snowy Lee smiled with her eyes squinted. Don't worry, Dad. I'll help my sister get to know him quickly, and then they can meet. He's not bad. Then you need to hurry up. Your sister isn't getting any younger. And you, this year you must bring a boyfriend home. Otherwise, don't come back for the new year. But I'm still young. You're not that young anymore. When your sister was your age, she was already waiting for it. That can't be the same. My sister is a special case. I won't fall in love that early. You two should stop daydreaming. But don't worry, I'll have a brother-in-law soon. Snowy Lee grinned mischievously, coming up with a clever plan. The two elders of the Lily family left the villa very satisfied, just waiting for their future son-in-law to arrive. Aren't I impressive? With just 3 sentences, I sent Mom and Dad away. Can I get a little reward? Lily Nguyen casually took a black card from her handbag, a VIP beauty card from Kyo Wan, with unlimited usage. Snowy Lee quickly grabbed the golden card, kissed it twice. You're still the best sister. You understand me the most. Nina stared at the card with her big, dark eyes, pointed with her little finger, and then directly hugged Snowy Lee's leg. Usually not spoiled or clingy, Nina was a cold child, but when she acted cute, she was so adorable that it melted Snowy Lee's heart. Snowy Lee hurriedly picked Nina up and coaxed. Sweetheart, you're still too young. Can you wait for Aunt to make one for you later? But Nina shook her head, continuing to stare at the card. Lily Nguyen seemed to see through her daughter's thoughts and said, Nina, that's a beauty card. Your uncle can't use it. Upon hearing that, Nina immediately climbed down from Snowy Lee's arms, grabbed the lollipop box from the table, and ran into her room. Snowy Lee stomped her foot in frustration. This little Nina is really getting more and more outrageous. After that, Nina returned to her room, picked up the phone on the table, and continued to send messages to Victor Moon. The child couldn't read, only knowing how to send cute emojis. Victor Moon also sent Nina a voice message. Uncle is home now. You should go to bed early too. Kids need to sleep early to grow tall. Nina could only listen to the voice message, not recognizing the words, and used a bunny emoji to nod, then sent an emoji of going to sleep. Victor Moon then set his phone down and went into the bathroom to wash up. When he returned, his phone rang. He picked it up and saw that the note read, Chu Dike. Victor Moon, the matter with Kai Pham has been settled. He will play a supporting role for you. Can you accept the script now? Sure. Chu Dike continued. You should rest well. Come to the company for a meeting tomorrow. After hanging up, Victor Moon was surprised by the outcome. He never expected Kai Pham to agree. Then Victor Moon took the script and lay on the bed reading, finishing it after 1 a.m. He set the script down, rolled over to sleep, only to forget to set the alarm clock and ended up oversleeping. The phone rang incessantly. Victor Moon turned over in bed, closed his eyes, and fumbled for the phone on the bedside table. What's going on? Victor Moon, the leadership is all here. Why haven't you arrived? What's going on? Victor Moon, the leadership is all here. Why haven't you arrived yet? 8:09. Chu-Chi, wait for me a moment. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Not daring to delay, Victor Moon hung up, immediately went to wash his face and brush his teeth, and in just 2 minutes changed his clothes before heading out the door. A little later, when Victor Moon arrived at the company, he was already half an hour late. He stood at the door and gently knocked, and Chu Dike opened it, looking at him with a reproachful gaze. Victor Moon, what happened? You're late for such an important meeting. I'm so sorry. I was up too late going over the script last night and forgot to set my alarm. Chudaik lowered her voice. Come in. You're the last one we were waiting for. As Victor Moon entered, he immediately spotted a familiar face. One he would never forget. Victor Hoai. Victor Hoai was the boss of the company. Tong Tun looked at Victor Moon with a dissatisfied expression. Victor Moon, you really have some nerve, making us wait for so long. Victor Moon could only apologize once more, then sat down opposite Victor Hoai. The two exchanged glances, and Victor Hoai directly picked up his phone. Brother, when are you coming back? Why didn't you let the family know? We've all been very worried about you these past few years while you were abroad. Victor Moon looked at the message on his phone, sneered coldly, and raised his hand to stop Victor Hoai. This time, Victor Moon is playing the lead role. Kai Pham, you're the second male lead. Although you're the second male lead, this role is very distinctive. Kai Pham's expression darkened. Can I refuse? Tong Tun directly said. You know I don't want to play a supporting role, just endure it this time. Kai Pham reluctantly nodded, coldly staring at Victor Moon. I can give a lead role to Kai Pham, but I have one condition. Let me play the second male lead. As soon as the words ended, everyone was astonished. Chi Fan reacted, excitedly asking, Victor, you said this. Don't go back on your word. I won't go back on my word. Chi Fan, I think you are very suitable for the male lead this time. Chi Fan arrogantly lifted his head. Didn't expect you to still have a bit of self-awareness. General Manager Sun uncertainly asked, Victor, are you sure you want to play the second male lead? Victor humbly replied, Yes, General Manager Sunday. I will talk to the investors. I feel that such an important burden is something a newcomer like me cannot bear, so I will give it to Chi Fan. Vice President Zhang continuously nodded, praising Victor. After the meeting, Wang Huai chased after him. The family misses you a lot. When are you coming home? Victor sneered. Home? Isn't that your home? Wang Huai said, Stop pretending. You know better than I do about what happened 4 or 5 years ago. Wang Huai hurriedly explained, My brother has already told our parents, but they don't believe it and insist on sending you abroad. Moreover, Sister Lily was also actively looking for me at that time. She was very heartbroken, so the two of us. Victor's expression immediately changed. Don't mention this again. He then got into the car and left, the vehicle quickly disappearing from Wang Huai's sight. Wang Huai sneered, Your only weakness is Lily. This feeling is really not bad. After a moment, Victor picked up his phone, hesitated for a while, and finally called her. At this moment, in the meeting room, Willow sat cross-legged on the sofa, her cold eyes slightly narrowed. Is this the plan you all prepared? The senior executive reporting wiped the sweat from his forehead, about to speak when suddenly the phone on the table rang. The senior executives were all stunned. Who would dare check their phone during a meeting with President Willow? Then they saw President Willow pick up the phone from the table. Willow saw the note, stood up from the sofa, glanced at everyone around. The meeting is over for now. We will continue next time. After saying that, she directly walked out of the meeting room and immediately answered the phone. Victor, is there something you need my help with? Or have you thought it through and want to marry me? President Willow, please don't joke around. I want to talk to you about your investment in the movie Fu Sheng this time. All right then, let's meet at Yujing Bay at 4 p.m. today. Or you can come to the Jinju Villa if you want to see Nina. Victor hesitated for 2 seconds. I'll go to the Jinju Villa. A faint smile appeared on Willow's lips. You can come a little earlier to play with Nina. She especially can't go to kindergarten, but Nina is very smart, knows how to draw, and can even write. Victor immediately agreed. I will visit Nina this afternoon. President Willow, I won't disturb you from working anymore. Willow suddenly said, Victor, didn't you forget what I told you? Victor could only slowly respond, Willow. The call ended, and the smile on Willow's face became even brighter. The assistant beside her seemed to witness something unbelievable. President Willow is smiling again. I really want to know who is on the other end of the line. Suddenly, Willow coldly said, What are you looking at? At this moment, Victor was buying several cute stuffed animals. He deliberately chose a pink rabbit and a white bear. Snow was standing at the door, looking bored, with a little girl clinging to her thigh. She had been wrapped around by Nina for an hour. Nina hugged Snow's leg, her big black eyes looking up at her, so adorable it could melt anyone's heart. Sweetheart, Annie really can't take you to find Uncle Victor. Mama said that you need to behave and stay at home. Besides, your Uncle Victor is very busy. He has to work. Can you be a little good? Nina released Snow's leg, sitting dejectedly on the sofa, holding her little drawing board, not knowing what she was drawing. Snow felt a pang of sympathy. Darling, don't be like that. How about Aunt May secretly takes you to meet your Uncle Victor, but you absolutely must not tell Grandma and Grandpa, or else Aunt May will be in big trouble. Nina looked up, her bright black eyes sparkling with excitement. She set her small drawing board down and dashed upstairs to the dressing room to pick a beautiful dress to wear. Snow picked up Nina's drawing and immediately saw that it depicted a turtle with the words Annie written beside it. Snow stomped her foot in anger and stormed into the dressing room, pinching Nina's ear. What have you drawn here? Is this your idea of an ant? Snow, you're getting worse by the day. Nina pouted, wrapping her arms around Snow's arm and continuing to act cute. Snow felt her heart melt. How could she bear to scold Nina? She quickly withdrew her hand. Nina, did Aunt May pinch your ear too hard? Nina shook her head and handed Snow a fluffy white dress. Nina, didn't you say you didn't like wearing dresses? Why are you wearing one now? Although Snow was puzzled, she still helped Nina change into the beautiful dress. Could it be that the little girl had reached the age where she wanted to look pretty? After Nina finished changing, she twirled in front of the mirror and pulled Snow's hand to go outside. Nina, don't rush. Is it because you want to see Uncle Victor that you changed in such a pretty dress? Snow suddenly realized. No way. Could it be that Nina likes Vongma? Victor's car stopped at the Cam 2 villa. Very polite. The last time that guard didn't even let Victor in, but it seemed the guards had changed this time. Victor didn't ask many questions. He took the stuffed animal from the car and walked into the Cam 2 villa. After taking a few steps, a cute little girl ran out and threw herself at Victor's leg. Nina, why are you out here? Look what Uncle brought for you today. Here, a little bunny and a bear too. Do you like them? Nina nodded vigorously, hugging a cute pink bunny. Victor, why are you here? Nina was just about to look for you. She even changed into new clothes. Nina turned her head and gave Snow a glance. Nina, aren't you going to let Annie say something? Why are you hugging the bunny? Didn't you say you hated stuffed animals the most? Last time, Annie bought you one, and you threw it all into the pond for the fish to eat. Victor asked in surprise. Nina, don't you like stuffed animals? Nina shook her head, hugging the bunny with a worried expression, eager to explain. Understand now, Nina likes the bunny, right? Is it because the last stuffed animal wasn't a bunny that you threw it away? Nina immediately nodded, her small arms hugging both the bunny and the bear tightly. Snow was helpless. The last time she bought a bunny, this little troublemaker threw it into the pond. But now that Victor bought it, she was hugging it close. Snow stomped her foot in frustration. Willow, you're really something. Explain. But now that Victor bought it, she was hugging it close. Snow stomped her foot in frustration. Willow, you're really something. Explain clearly why you threw the stuffed animal Auntie gave you into the pond. Nina pouted, snuggling into Victor's arms, acting as if she had been wrong. Snow, Nina is still small. Don't be so fierce, or you'll scare her. Snow patted her chest. That little troublemaker is clearly trying to provoke me. Victor gently ruffled the little girl's hair. How could such a cute 3-year-old be a troublemaker? He carried Nina to the living room. Nina, what did you want to talk to Uncle about today? Nina climbed down from Victor and took her small drawing board from the table to show him. Victor was about to see that it was a turtle, and it seemed like there were some words written on it when Snow suddenly snatched the drawing away. Don't look. Nina is just doodling. Ina climbed down from Victor and took her small drawing board from the table to show him. Then Victor saw the second drawing, which seemed to depict two people, one with long hair, likely a woman, and the other with short hair. Nina, what is this? I don't understand your drawing. Nina pointed at the person on the drawing, then pointed at Victor. Victor was astonished. Is this your uncle? So is this person your mother? Nina nodded vigorously. Victor was surprised. Nina, why did you draw your uncle and your mother together? Your uncle is not your dad. Nina held her small drawing pen and drew a little heart between him and Emily. Nina, your uncle is not your dad. Nina opened her big, innocent black eyes and tilted her head. Just as Victor was about to explain again, Nina, regardless of uncle or dad, hugged Victor tightly, playfully sitting in his lap and continuing to draw. Next to the dad and mom, she drew another child, and Nina happily pointed at the small figure in the drawing. This is Nina, Nina. Victor nodded, and then Nina drew two big hands holding her dad's hand. Nina's drawing was indeed very abstract, but it was clear that it depicted a happy family of 3. Snow searched the drawing for a long time, but couldn't find her aunt anywhere, so she angrily pinched Nina's cheek. Nina, where's your aunt? Nina hurriedly drew a random aunt. Only then did Snow calm down. Why is the aunt so far away from everyone? Nina added another uncle and a child for the aunt. Nina, no more random drawings. Nina pouted, looking pitiful. Willow, Nina is still small. Please don't be harsh on her. Just then, Willow, who had come home early before her work shift ended, saw Victor and Nina happily getting along and smiled faintly. Nina, Uncle Victor has come to visit you again. Nina smiled joyfully, wrapping her small arms around Victor's neck. Willow, I want to talk to you about the script. This time I feel the supporting male role suits me better, so I declined the leading role. Willow sat down next to Victor, surprised. Let me see the script. Victor took the document from his bag and handed it to Willow. Willow flipped through the leading male script, The character setup was indeed not very good. Especially when she saw a long segment of kissing scenes, she decisively closed the script. I think you're right. The character setup for the leading male has significant issues. Then Willow looked at the supporting male script, which mostly focused on the career, only occasionally holding the female lead's hand, and there was even a kissing scene. Holding hands? Kissing scene? Willow frowned. Victor, I think the script needs to be revised. As an investor, can I revise the script? Victor thought for a moment. I'm not sure. I need to contact the original author. If she agrees, it shouldn't be a big problem. Then Willow glanced at the cover of the book. I'll have my assistant contact the author. Snow couldn't help but ask, Victor, which entertainment company are you with? How come I've never seen someone as handsome as you before? I'm with Jia Hoa Company. I'm still a newcomer, having just signed a contract a few months ago. Snow looked at Victor expectantly. Would you consider working at our company? Victor immediately declined without hesitation. Not for any other reason, but because the contract termination fee was too expensive, $1 billion. Even selling Victor wouldn't cover the compensation. Victor smiled. Thank you for your kind offer, Willow. After my contract expires, I will come to your company. After that, Nina showed the family drawing she made to her mother. This is Mom. And who is this? Nina hugged Victor's arm. Willow suddenly realized. So this is your Uncle Victor. Victor awkwardly explained. Nina just drew randomly. Willow disagreed. I think Nina draws beautifully. Nina's situation is a bit special. She doesn't like to play with other children. If you have time, you could come and play with her often. She's very adorable and well-behaved.